Oh, it's blurred. I'm not saying they were not skilled and did not work hard, but I'm saying that it was always possible to appear like a genius without doing anything or that much. And that's explain how it works. Yeah, the new Scanimate. Yeah, Disney could use a similar thing like this. Yes, uh, maybe they could even have controlled mechanical animation phases, how they were put on the transparent paper and stuff. Yeah, had a metronome running, click track. This is what was thinking to synchronize. Yeah, it is also very easy to dub English to German and vice versa. Also, yeah, it's a standardized language for this one. The track here and some really cheap. They were not as big and weak as you think. They were about as strong as the Game Boy, and that had maybe some sort of disk or yes, it was some sort of hard disk, magnetic hard disk that it were a substitute for the RAM. This would have been possible. I'm not sure. Yeah, certainly they did it that way. They could have also cheated at sports events and stuff. Yes, and this was the analog part. Yes, uh, simple AD converter here in and control output. To compress the dynamics and put it in tune with notch filters between the half steps of each. Yes, you had a normal diatonic or chromatic scale, and between you put a very fine equalizer. Yes, after dynamic compression, this was needed to control the volume with this thing. Yes, again. Yeah. Hmm. This would have been possible. The trick was it was very expensive to 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 hire that. But when they were the first one they could easily have done it. You had to go in the film studio. Yes, maybe only use know some chords or very simple scales to play great solos with an amazing speed and stuff. Yes, basics within 2 months. Yes, could have made a record with very basic knowledge. Yes, this of course was not always the case, but if they had to put someone forward, it was absolutely possible. It only cost much money, or you needed some connections. This could have happened after this one. You see what it was? Yes, this, yes, and never look there. You will have problems with vision. Not at all. In the center, when you look at it, centered. For some minutes, maybe. Yes, reading fluency and distance sight. Yes, regain it. All the damage with total plus, even teeth transplants are possible. Yeah, I'm quite sure the Egyptians did it. Yes, otherwise, Petrischale, yes. So it's always divide. They can repair it very cheaply. What is this one and yes, this one, this one destroyed, yes, and some firecrackers and stuff. Yes, riots, shit. Yes. Here the theory here. Resonators to detect if a tone is here. This is stupid. You had several tracks. You had several tracks. You had it's conjunctive, yes. Several tracks, and here the tracking with the same timing. 8 notes, and when it's speeded up to 16 notes. Yes, it's like MIDI tracking here. Herein, a very simple Univac or something more compact of a very cheap computer. Yes. Yeah, yeah. The RAM you had here, it is quite fast. Yeah, it can be quite fast. You could even combine it with RAID to increase the throughput, but it didn't need it for that cheap thing. It basically detected, yeah, no, it mapped the volume. Yes, why did it detect it? I don't know it. Picture control also possible. Distortion of the lens is not as easy. Yes, brightness control and stuff. Of course, yeah, uh, distort or maybe save some work for the filmmakers. Yeah, with the camera. This saves a lot of work. Yes, brick films. Yes, brick films could have done either with magnetic tape. They had videotapes uh, already in the early 60s, not only for surveillance. They could have run a face detection. There was surveillance if they had, yeah, simple data on the tape, and then here in some sort of computer which looks terrible, but is basically a Game Boy from its performance. Was? Lass mich? Yes. Danke, ja. Yes. Could process it. You couldn't digitize the analog data, but you could control it and detect it with the resonator, which gave the amplitude or something, or track very costly viewpoints with very few pixels. You had real film, and it selected the right animation phase from some sort of tape, magnetic tape, like for a SD recorder. Yes, would have worked. The metronome was always clicking. This was not only for cutting and speeding up and stuff. Uh, yes. Slow motion. When you see slow motion in a sports event, you can actually assume they could also speed it up. So, yeah, when the time quartz is slower, is also the case that time passes not as quickly. In these devices, the game was slowed down when the battery was weak, and this is very dangerous. In infrastructure, like railway and stuff, you also have a problem with multitasking. That's another issue. It also doesn't work perfectly in combination, and the asynchronity might be a perfect accident for something like mm, mm, a risky sort of this, with this sort of uh, yes, micro tissue and stuff. Yes, and maybe you can repair it without being making a massacre. This is responsible still. Yes, yes, Frankenstein. But it really works. uh, it seems to work. Yes, like a wound is healing. So it's divide. Yes, you just have to control the traffic. Put something like like something that throws like this and can be inserted in that sound of wound. Yes. Uh, Not how you look. Yeah, how you look, not where you look. Don't look there. Yes, yes. May also accept a lobotomized. This is basically what would have been happening uh, behind the scenes, and it's somehow like that. Was?
Was vertun Sie damit?
Jetzt noch keine.
Jetzt ist fertig.
Ja, die Grillsoße oder Knoblauchsoße, irgend selbst.
Der soll das wieder neu stellen.
Äh, ja.
Jetzt ist schön
Ja,
knusprig.
ja, ja. Tasty bread. Yes, with gypsy sauce or not even ketchup. This is not as good. Yes, as I said it. What happened here? To complete MIDI track, you can generate allegorically arrangements, and yeah, also the melody, of course. It could be as complex as a symphony. Even with this weak thing, it's no problem with the right algorithms. Das ganze Zeug geht auch noch. Ja, you could sell it on the market after this one. Yes, tell Ursula, we're the one number one. We would be. This is not an advertising. Would be the number one in knowing talent. So books on talent. Yeah, talent and yes. Yeah, you need that hearing device with the click 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 for the timing in this one. Yes, and a very simple computer, but it has enough RAM, so it makes no difference as long as you're not doing uh, uh, 3D graphics with any resolution or uh, dealing with digitized analog data. For controlling, it is perfectly suitable. Yes, you could even use the Game Boy or something comparable for trap strategy when you hide in the forest or something. Yes, nice game. You always win. No one wins. Yes, this must have been it. After this one. This one, the verses of this thing da. This one. This one. And this, it. This, not this. This one again. And then, mm, exactly this one. You know what this is. It looks like not like the Technodrome, but the other thing. Yes, this is, you will see him in the laser show in the sky. in the skies looks nice, but then look too long at it. Maybe tenth of a second or something. It's not as bad as this one. This is also like this one, but it's not actually exactly the same. It's technically still the same, but it works quite differently. I'm not sure if this really works, but you definitely could get a hearing and vision damage, along with a severe intoxication and cancer. Kommt drauf an, wie du normal definierst. Ja, der hat it. Forgot something? No, pen and scan. Yes, the lens. Distort the face proportions. This was also maybe controllable if you knew how to track the lens and what the computer used. Yes, make someone uh, uh, not only be photographed in the right angle automatically, but also cut the bad stuff automatically out. Not that bad, you cannot say bad, but human being, of course. But this is maybe not. Yes, well, we had it. This is tolerance for all of sorts of people after yeah, the press ban and what they called the war or something, corrupt fraud and something. It's I see it coming. Maybe yes, 20 can regain 20 years of looks plus. Yes, especially after this one, not this one and the firecrackers and stuff. It would be easily 20, make easily 20 years. Normally not even. Yes, yes. Is that shit? Hope this is not true. Dramaturg, actors never. This is the reason for the metronome also. Never sound like real people, but they have very controlled articulation and voice intonation and stuff. But this is not actually what an actor would need to do in a real theater when he is a good actor. It is actually the universe has been it. Yes, you understand what it is. It is not as trashy as it seems. It serves all the needs you need. With some volts at 80s or U180s, you could even run like MMX real uh, face detection in real time with usual cameras you had everywhere and around and at the mall and stuff. Nice thing to make it look like shit. Yeah, but it was not shit. It's not. It's not all look new, but looks all old. It has always been at that state. The new thing was how it was also camouflaged as something completely trashy. Might it been the airport or the UDSS? No matter. Behind the head just what they needed, and only who needed it or should have needed it had the money to buy it. When one thing was too weak, they just brought several of them and paralyzed them and connected them somehow. The programs were quite simple. Yes, we know the basic algorithm. Yeah, I know it. Yes, it must have worked, and it would have been stupid if they had done it. Any important professions should have used it. Also the doctors and stuff. So a doctor is never a lamer theoretically. He's also very technically skilled. Yes, this is not sexist. It's a fact. Without knowing about picture processing and statistics and programming about statistics, yes, you cannot be um, uh, a doctor with much responsibility. Yes, also Schwarzwaldklinik, not a real clinic, not a real hospital. A real hospital is more like, yeah, yeah, Skynet. Not actually, but something similar. Rechenzentrum. Ja, genau. And basic programming skills and good technical education. Smart like an engineer, James Bond. Genau.